Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We all have goals in life to accomplish different things. It could be personal, professional, whatever it may be. But if you don't have the right goal and the right system in place, I don't want to use the F word, but you're probably going to fail. We don't want that to happen. And he doesn't let that happen to the people that he works with. He's an educator, inspirational speaker, a success consultant, life coach, best-selling author, and he's also got an R missing in his first name, but that's irrelevant. Doesn't really mean anything. He's Dr. Bary Fleet, and he's back with us. Hey, Bary, how are you?
I'm well, Steve. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm a big fan of yours and also this concept that we're talking about in terms of creating systems to achieve your goals. So where does this begin? Let's say we have something that we want to accomplish and we think we have a goal set and we think it's a reasonable goal. How do we determine that it's a good goal or not? And what are we talking about here when we mention systems?
Yeah. So what it occurred to me, I am one of those people that has been on a weight roller coaster. I'm a lifetime member of Weight Watchers. I weighed a whole lot more than I used to, and I credit their system for getting me down to a healthy weight. Became a lifetime member, and then I put the weight back on. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And then I go on a commitment. I set a goal for the healthy weight that I want to, and I get to it, and then I put weight back on. And what I've realized is that I had the wrong goal. I succeeded in my goal. My goal was to weigh X number, get on the scale, see that number. I succeeded. But what caused me to fail ultimately is my goal. I would have been much better served if my goal had been to create a lifestyle that sustains that number.
Okay. So we have that number. That's our goal weight. We want to achieve that. Is it the system in place to maintain that when we set the goal? Is it all set up? Because we have to do certain things to get to that goal weight, right?
Absolutely. And there are certain things that we do, but in our minds, if my mind is to hit that target weight, once I do it, I'm done. But if my mindset is to create a lifestyle that allows me to live at a healthy weight, I'm never done. That it's that lifestyle, it's the lifestyle choices. And I can alter my choices to hit a specific goal. But is that really, that's a short-term goal.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sure you and I both know a lot of people that have, especially with the weight issue, they've done gastric bypass surgery to get to the weight. You know, they've had to lose weight so they could have the surgery, and they lose the weight, and then they, 6 months later, a year later, they're back where they were before they had the surgery, because I think the mindset is about a specific target, and the better mindset is about lifestyle. What are the choices I need to be making every day to set myself up for a healthy weight, for a healthy lifestyle? And that's something I have to confront myself with every day. I'm really into the idea of systems, and what's the system I need to put in place for me to have a healthy life, for me to have a healthy body, to have a healthy mind, to help me have a healthy spirit about me. It's about systems. What are the things to do every day? It's like, I go to the gym. None of us go to the gym. We work out really hard, and then we don't go anymore because we didn't put on weight. We didn't build muscle. It's the daily, it's the consistency. And if our lifestyle is committed to going to the gym 3 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever it is, but we do that consistently. Over time, we see the changes that are desired. But in the meantime, it's the lifestyle, it's the daily choices, it's the systems that I put in place to manage my day that are going to make the difference.
When you say the word systems, Bary, the first thing, and related to weight loss, which is connected obviously to food, I get a picture of somebody meal prepping maybe in the beginning of the week. I have a friend that does that every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's his thing. And to me, that looks like a system. Got to do this, got to do that, got to do this. Repeat again, till you have 5 meals ready for the week. That is that what we're talking about? Part of the system?
That could be. And for some people,
Sure.
that's what it will be.
Right.
I think for other people, it's really more about the mentality of I need to make every choice of what I put in my mouth. I need to ask myself, is this going to serve my ultimate goal of being a healthy weight? And there are times, honestly, I want to say, nope, this is purely about pleasure.
Mm.
But I can't do that very often if I want to have a healthy body.
Yeah.
And so maybe I have a cheat meal once a week. Okay. But if I'm 90% committed to making healthy choices, and I open the refrigerator, what am I going to pull out? Am I going to pull out something that's going to help me? Probably the refrigerator isn't the best place. The best place is in the grocery store.
Yeah.
What are the choices I'm making that I put in my shopping basket and bring home with me?
Oh, start at the source. Start at the source for sure. Yeah. And then, that could also be the system where you make your shopping list, but it's very strategic to make sure that you don't buy things that are going to potentially make you derail from your ultimate goal.
Right. And I'm really excited. I just today picked up the proof copy for my new book that's coming out called Recovering Your Magnificence, a playbook.
Wow.
And in that, I talk about creating a not to-do list. And the example I use for me is when I go to Dunkin' Donuts and get something to drink, not to get one of those frosted coffee rolls that I so love.
Yep.
But if what I say to myself is I'm not going to pick up that frosted coffee roll, that's a good not to do thing. But the image in my mind is the frosted coffee roll. So I need to take that and take the extra step and say, okay, what's this look like in a positive way? And what it looks like in a positive way is, so when I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I'm only going to make healthy choices. That's a different mental image. That's a different focus. And so, yeah, I've got to do that not to do list. So when I go to the supermarket, I'm not going to come home with a 3-layer chocolate cake with frosting. But when I tell myself, okay, Barry, don't go through the bakery aisle and look for cakes, that's a good start. But the next step is the critical one that says, Barry, when I go to the supermarket, I'm only going to come home with stuff that's going to promote a healthy body for me.
And what I really love about this in terms of the system is that it sounds habitual. Once you get into the routine of doing it, you'll continue doing it. Like for me, when I go to get a coffee, Dunkin' Donuts, wherever, I get a decaf with sugar-free flavoring and a drop of milk. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while to wean me off of the other stuff, but this satisfies me now and it's perfectly fine. But I guess, sort of like a system. It's a habit. When I go, that's what I'm going to get.
You're absolutely right. And it's a tribute to the power of habits. Mm. And it really is about creating healthy habits. Because the thing about habits is I don't have to think about them. It's just what I do. And in the beginning, it takes effort to create the healthy habit, the healthy behavior. But as I continue making that healthy choice, it does become a habit, like your coffee. It becomes a habit. and you don't even think about it. You just do it. But that becomes a piece in your creating a healthy body for yourself.
Now, somebody told me when it comes to habits, they can only be done if there's something pleasurable derived from it on the other side of it. Like, for example, somebody has a habit of smoking, trying to kick the habit. Why do they smoke? They get pleasure out of smoking. Whatever it might be. If your habit is to be healthy, what is your benefit? It's you feel good psychologically, you look better, and all of that. There's a plus, there's a pleasure point at the end of it. Have you ever heard that?
I have, and like with your example of smoking, if I were working with somebody, what's the benefit that you're getting from the smoking? And what are other healthier ways that you can derive the same benefit? So rather than focusing on stop smoking, I want to help you focus on getting that benefit in a healthy way, making a different choice that ultimately gives you the same or even more benefit. Make that choice and let that become the new habit. And what I've noticed is rather than trying to get rid of an old habit, it's easier and more productive to focus on what's the new habit I want to create. And as I create the new habit, the old habit just kind of evaporates. I don't pay it just doesn't come up anymore, because you're right. I'm getting the pleasure that I used to get from the old habit, but it's coming from a healthier choice.
What about expectations? I've heard if you're going to adjust a habit, you really got to budget minimum 3 weeks for it to take hold or change. Have you heard that?
I've heard 3 weeks. I've heard 28 days. I know in AA, they ask people to go to a meeting for 90 meetings in 90 days. So there's lots of different ideas about how long it takes. But the thing about AA that I do like is just for today. Just today, I'm going to make this choice to get up at 6 o'clock and spend 30 minutes reading and another 30 minutes working out to build up a sweat. Just today. I'm not going to commit myself for the rest of the life because that's too imposing. But I can do it for today.
I like that too.
And then tomorrow is a new day. But today is manageable. And for some people, it's I don't know if I can even commit for today, but for the next hour.
Sure. I think it goes back to something we talked about a while ago, where if you're looking at something you want to change, let's say it is smoking, whatever it is, you end it with the statement with for now. For now. So for example, I'm smoking for now. So it's kind of the same thing of what you're saying. It is today. This is
right.
We're living in the now. We're living in the present.
And we have talked about this before. Somebody has speculated that we make 35,000 decisions every day. I don't know whose brain calculated that. But and most of those decisions are unconscious. They just happen. So the first step is bringing my decisions into consciousness. And when I pick up this pack of cigarettes, when I go to the supermarket, when I drive through the drive-through to get coffee or whatever, I'm going to make a decision to either do something that supports the lifestyle that I say that I want, or I'm going to let my habit run me, or I'm going to make a conscious choice. Yes, this is what the old brain part of me, the pleasure-seeking part of me. And that's the other thing that I think a lot of folks have lost touch with, is to be the kind of person I want to be. Sometimes that means making choices that aren't the best feeling choices. It's making choices of depriving myself the pleasure of the moment. And actually what happens to us is when I satisfy the pleasure of the moment by smoking, by drinking, by having that extra piece of cake or whatever, I'm depriving myself of feeling good in the future.
Should you be replacing it with something else, as we talked about before?
Yes, but the pleasure is partly for me. The pleasure is, and I've heard people refer to this, especially with drinking. I don't like how I feel in the morning. Well, so today I'm going to make the choice that allows me to feel good in the morning.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
That's the pleasure. I'm going to wake up tomorrow feeling good about the choices I made yesterday.
And that could also play into your, weight loss too, because, you wake up the next day, let's say you went to a party and it's just, oh, I can't believe I ate that. Oh, I feel like garbage today. I'm not going to the gym. Well, why do you want to feel that way? If you make that choice the day before, tap the brakes on what you're eating, you'll know the next day that you're not going to have that guilt and negativity.
Right. So I have a habit of getting on the scale every day. And my wife says, Bary, that would drive me crazy to be. And I said, then don't do it.
Right.
You do the system that works for you. This is something that works for me because it tells me, yep, my system is working, or something didn't happen yesterday that should have or could have. What do I need to do today to make it better when I step on the scale tomorrow? But it's examining the daily habits. It's examining the daily choices.
How about some other systems? Any other thoughts there? Because I love the idea of systems. I try to incorporate them in a lot of the stuff that I do. It just makes it more organized, more planned. You feel better. Get a better grip on things. Any other thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. One of my rituals is to get up in the morning and to write down 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Okay.
To write down before I start my day, what am I looking forward to? Or what could I look forward to? Because sometimes I get up and I look at my day and it's like, but I need to build something in that I could look forward to.
Can we look at that for just a moment? Put the microscope on it. What am I looking forward to? And by the way, we've talked about how important and impactful a gratitude journal is. It's even been scientifically proven that it will elevate your life if you're grateful. And keeping a journal keeps you mindful of that. What is the difference between saying what I'm looking forward to today or what could I look forward to?
So it's inviting our mind to make a shift. So simple thing. Oh, I gotta go to the office today. Not looking forward to that. What the shift I can make is, you know what? I get to go to the office today.
Sure.
I'm healthy. I've got a job. There are a lot of people that would trade places with me in a heartbeat.
Yep. Totally
So
got it.
I can look forward to this, and I can be grateful that I had this opportunity rather than this liability, obligation, burden, whatever.
Totally got it. Or you choose to. Isn't that another great one where I choose to do this?
Yes, absolutely. If I choose to, I was talking to somebody the other day who has made a commitment to a healthy lifestyle, and they, when the desserts get passed around, they just say, "I don't do that anymore." It becomes instead of, "Oh, I can't have this," it's, "No, this isn't what I do."
Okay, like that.
And it's so rather than building in a sense of deprivation. I can't have this. It's no, this isn't who I am.
Yep.
And there's the decision. That's not who I am. And there's no judgment, but I feel good about being who I am. It allows me to feel good about who I am.
And you can even flip that a little bit more and say, it's who I am today. Because you're a different person than you were yesterday. And then 5 years ago, you're making different choices. You're living a different lifestyle.
Right.
And yeah, those words need to go. By that, I mean, I can't.
Yes.
It's such a negative, and it's also subconsciously setting you up for failure.
Absolutely. I've mentioned before that I host a men's group every week. And we were talking the other night about getting up 15 minutes earlier than our normal time to have 15 minutes of quiet time, of gratitude journal, of grounding myself before I start the day. And one of the guys said, "Oh, I could never get up at 5:30 in the morning. I just can't do that." And I said, if I said there's $1 million check with your name on it that will be available to you 1 year from today, if you have gotten up 15 minutes earlier every day this year, you think you'd do it?
Never say can't.
Yeah. The honest thing is, I won't get up. I'm not willing to get up. Okay, at least there's integrity. There's at least integrity in the statement.
Yeah.
But to say I can't denies the power that is mine. And I'm all about people experiencing their own power and claiming the power that we have.
Absolutely.
Rather than making ourselves victims of limited thinking and faulty thinking.
And I think that also comes into play using the word choose, because now you're using your power. We could even say, I choose not to get up 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you own it. And that's your choice. That's your choice. You may be missing out on an opportunity, whatever that is. And, journaling 15 minutes of being grounded first thing in the morning. But you made the choice. Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
And at least I'm claiming my power in saying I'm choosing not to.
Right.
The power is within me, and I'm acknowledging that.
One thing that always stood out in my mind, these words, I can't believe, and you figure, whatever you want to say, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that's going on right now. Don't say that. There's different ways you can reframe that kind of language.
Yeah, I like, isn't it interesting that?
Yeah.
And to put it in the realm of curiosity rather than disbelief.
Exactly. Or another powerful statement, the word true. Is it true that happened? If you want to reframe your mind, you're asking yourself a question and you're going to validate it as opposed to just fluffing it off. I can't believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of things that we tell ourselves are not true.
Yeah.
But did I just experience this? I did. Was talking to a couple of guys the other day. One of them had what he called a spiritual experience. He was driving in the car, and he heard a male voice. He was in the car by himself, and he heard a male voice. He was having a conversation. Something really tragic had happened, and in his mind is there a God? Is there a God? What's going on here? And he claims to have heard a male voice, as if it were a passenger in the car, saying, "Yes, there is, but not the way you think." He heard those words from a male voice audibly. And the person that he was sharing the story with said, "Oh, so you're hallucinating." Well, that's a way of judging it, and in some ways discounting it. He was he hallucinating? I don't know, but he had this experience, and it's the experience that matters. And for him, it was a powerful experience that actually changed his life. So what if it was a hallucination? It doesn't matter. He had an experience that changed his life. Let's look at that and say, instead of "I can't believe that happened," isn't it interesting that happened?
Right. I love that. I think that because then we're not judging. We're just looking at it. And whether we believe it or not, we're just looking at the situation and what transpired by it.
Yeah, and whether even the question, is that true? Well, what is true is that was his experience. That's
100%.
what's true.
It's
That's
true.
what's true.
Can't take that away.
No, that's his experience. That's how he describes it. And we can either judge, and we will. We can either judge it as, oh, he's hallucinating again, or we can go to the place, wow, isn't that interesting? Wonder what that's all about.
I tend to believe that he did experience it. I will ask for signs, not to pivot here. We're just about out of time, but I'll share one that just happened today. I'll ask for signs. Shay, this universe, show me something. I need an answer here. A lot of times I'll ask my mom to show me something. And she hasn't recently. I haven't asked a lot, but I have been recently just saying, Mom, hey, show me something that, this situation is going to be okay. So, and I usually get a sign. Have a new modem that was installed by the cable company and a new password. And it's on the bottom of the modem. Take a look at it. There's my mom's name. Randomly assigned by the cable company. And now as we're talking about it, there's numbers that go along with it. I think there's a big Powerball jackpot tonight. I'm going to use the numbers. I'm not kidding. I really am. Because it's got to be something with these numbers that I'm looking at, which is the Wi-Fi password. But I asked for a sign. Maybe she's giving me one. What do I got to lose? A couple of bucks. Let me give it a shot.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. But isn't it interesting that I asked for a sign and her name, literally, her name is Rose. That's part of the password is on. And I didn't make the password up. So they just left the modem here and it's already pre-assigned.
Wow.
How do we connect with you to maybe develop systems, come up with goals that are truly smart and just achieve the magnificence that we're looking for in our lives?
Sure. Go to my website, www.drbaryfleet.com, DRBARYFLEET.com. There you can get my email address. You can get my cell phone to call me. There's a form to fill out. You can watch my TEDx talk. You can order my book. You can get a better feel for who I am and what I'm about. But yeah, be in touch. I'd love to talk and connect, and help you put a system in place that makes you feel good about being who you are.
You make things clear. You provide so much clarity. A lot of this can be a little complicated when somebody has goals and they want to achieve certain things, but you make it clear, and that's that's a big plus. It really is.
Thank you.
We don't have time. We want to just get to it and move past it. Bary, always great talking with you. And I'll let you know if I win the lottery. That's my SMART goal.
Okay.
Tonight.
That's time limited. You either will or won't.
Exactly. Looking forward next time we get a chance to talk.
Take care.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.